You.
Welcome back, guys. Another episode of Sunday Sessions with Rich. I'm joined again by my friends Human Vibration and Rambo. And first and foremost, happy Father's Day, bro. This is a Sunday Session special for real.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on as well. Thanks for
Guys,
having us on.
hey, this is pretty exciting, guys. Now let's shatter some Matrix shit. I know, so Rambo, I know yesterday you mentioned it's been extra cloudy and shit over there. And I said I had a theory about that. That I think that either like somebody pissed off somebody and there's some dark ass energy sometimes in the sky. But sometimes I've noticed when I was out there, you have the layer of the cloud, but then you'll see a sky and sun after that. I'm like, I've never seen that before. And that's a bit odd.
Yeah, it is a bit, and it's like it's dark. It's like grey, but really humid. Like just a weird weather. Really, you don't see it anywhere else. And it can rain at any time.
Yeah, it feels like there is a manipulation just above us, but
See?
then above that is the truth, just like a normal sky,
Right.
like a peaceful calm. And it does feel like all this stuff just on the plane right above us, on this aeroplane, which is really what it's called, like the plane of the air above us. If they manipulate just a low layer of that, we have a real effect. Oh, I saw this article recently about a heat dome. There's this heat wave in the
Ooh.
western part of the United States, and I saw an article about a heat dome, and that's why we have it. But I was like, what's a heat dome?
So yeah.
How are they blaming this on a heat dome? And there's like this art. There was like it looked like the Simpsons episode, a dome where like the dome forms around
Yeah.
Springfield, but it was like they were reporting on this heat dome as if it was the most known of and accepted reason for heat waves. They were like, "Oh
That's
yeah, the heat dome," and then they had like a diagram of it, and I was like, "This is wild." And that
that's
just
so
shows that they
wild.
can manipulate areas very specifically with, like a very perfect, like a dome of manipulation.
I think that in the UK they kind of do. It does feel
Yeah.
like because like they say it's only
Cloudy.
small or whatever, but I feel like is it something to do with like the royal family and stuff?
Yeah.
That they call it
Ooh.
like the motherland, don't they? And why is
Ooh.
it always grey and cloudy even in the summer? It's
Bro,
a bit
I
weird.
was out there for 6 months and I was like, I've never seen it. Just makes you gloomy and depressed sometimes. It's just
Does.
I'm like,
That's what it's
what?
supposed to do anyway. It doesn't work
And
on me anymore.
and the
That.
queen
Like,
royalty, it's all called
what?
like the crown jewels, like the crown jewels. And it's like crown is mind and jewel is like our energy, like our jewel energy is a measurement of like jewel is a measurement of energy, heat energy, a jewel, one jewel. So it's like crown jewel is like our mental focus energy, and we're focused on the royal family. Like that's what they get. They don't have it's
See?
not real jewels. It's us. It's our
Right.
jewels. It's our crown jewels that they are getting and owning of. Oh damn.
And they're saying it if you can, I said before, like if you can like manipulate the weather, then you got everybody's mood. Really, you can change everyone's
Yes,
mood.
Bro.
sir.
But
Yes.
then where you are, it's sunny a lot of the time, isn't it? Really. So
Yeah,
like,
for the most part, yeah, yeah.
is the cloud like I don't know, like when they say the royal family, like the doom and gloom, like the
Yeah. Is that why London is always doom and gloom since like the 18, the Dickens novels? It always painted the most like dreary view of jolly old London town. It's just
Yeah.
so dark and dreary and seemed, yeah, I don't know. There's something about it. Maybe
The
because I'm
energy is different
so
though
different.
when it is sunny. Like it's just like
Oh, that's
vibrant.
right. You lived there. How was
I
that for
w-
you?
it was fucking amazing when
Was
it
it
was
sunny when you were there?
so I was in Bristol for a stretch of it, and then I transitioned to Nailsy. Um, and so when I moved to when I was living in Nailsy, it was more sunnier than it was just in Bristol. I don't maybe because I was closer by the water, not sure, but just the energy and everything about it was amazing, man. That was the best 6 months of my life being out there.
Wow. Cool. 6 months. That's fun. And you were there for what got you there? And you were there right before Corona. And
Yeah,
so
I
how?
got there right before Corona, so I can work remote. So while I work remote from home, so I'm just able to like just move around and just do whatever. And so now it just made me want like I just want to travel the world now at this rate. Like this shit. As long as I don't go, as long as I don't
That's
gotta
it.
take the
I'd love to travel the world myself. I've personally, I've never been to the US, and I've only ever been in Europe, really.
Rambo, come on over.
Yeah.
Come on, Rambo, we need you,
Get
brother.
myself over there, definitely.
The Wild West. Come on.
Hell yeah. What do you guys think about that? So I don't really see that many people talking about that Fauci leak.
Gone, isn't it?
So, Rambo and I have kicked this around. I think we're in agreement. The Fauci leak, I feel, is just very similar to the WikiLeaks Hillary emails and the Panama Papers and basically any leak, the Pentagon UFO leaks that we're hearing so much about these days. Like all of these leaks are fiction, are works of fiction for us to feel as a public that we are being recipients of a truth that we were once kept from.
Right.
And that's a farce. What they're giving us is something they want us to see, and I think it's just as much of
the UFO leak. Has that been done now? Have they like announced anything? Because he was due to announce something, wasn't he?
Right? I feel like it's kind of been quiet.
Yeah, it's gone pretty quiet.
A little too quiet.
But the thing is, something that like extreme to me, I would think I will be hearing a lot about it. Like you're basically telling me that we're interacting with, interdimensional beings, but no one's talking about it. Like, what the fuck? That's wild.
My definition of interdimensional beings has expanded beyond an idea of an alien outer space under like a here and there sort of thing to a all here, but incomprehensible to us. But I don't think it's a there here situation. I think it's a here here. And whatever is operating is just doing it in such a secretive way, like a small, kind of like the man behind the curtain. We talk about that all the time too. It's like to make this entire illusion, the wonderful world of Oz, the entire grandeur of the magical mystical city, Emerald City of Oz. All it required was a tiny little man behind a curtain operating a small little subsection of machinery that projected this grand illusion of control and deep operation. Maybe that's what's going on. I don't know.
That's okay.
It's not happening from somewhere else. It's just happening from inside.
I think so.
Yeah. Like in the movies, in the scary movies, they always tell us the call is coming from inside the house.
Yeah.
The killer's inside the house. They're already inside the house. Maybe that's our mind. Maybe that's maybe that's their, I don't know, or something. Maybe.
Because it is all a projection, though. It could be your mind.
I think like you're right with the little like the Wizard of Oz, and then you just have to layer it then with like Satanism and just scary things that no one wants to really look at, and dig deep into. We're full of rabbit holes all the way down,
Rainbow, this is back to your catchphrase, your new catchphrase.
Yeah.
Say it.
Reflection of the projection.
I like that.
Reflect the project.
Reflect the project. Yeah.
Fuck with that.
That's what's happening because they feed us these little over a lifetime, really. They feed us all of these inputs.
That's all it is. Everything is put in our reality for us, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's where I'm thinking what I said to you, HV, about human beings. Are we human beings or are we being human?
Oh.
As in like what we're being trained to be human. So do you know what I mean? Like we're
beings, like being is in the act of like to be or not to be. Yeah.
So are we being human? As in like we're being trained to live a certain way. We all are. And also whether we like it or not, everything we kind of know has been come from outside, like from the projection, really, somehow.
Then too with that though, if the point is to be human and then activate your God mode and then create your reality from this human state, And then once you do that, I feel like you broke the cheat code. Like you just broke the matrix. You won the game. Like we won the game. At this point, we won the game. There's no going back. You can't go
There's
back.
no emotions. It's you've like you say, you've broke the cheat code, but then it's trying to like clear the mud to see what what is real. Do you know what's left?
Yeah. You gotta like swift through the bullshit and see what do you care to see? Kind of like Twitter. You follow those who resonate on the same frequency and don't, on the other. It's the same thing.
Have you ever, you feel like vibrations on Twitter, but have you ever like felt like no vibration as though you're speaking to someone who's not even there? Do you know, I felt that before now on Twitter. Do you know, you just feel like maybe the person's not real.
Exactly. Is it a bot?
You just know. You just feel it. You just know. It's so interesting how that happens. It's so interesting how like you can just jive and you can really understand if someone is seeking with an open and pure a curiosity versus trying to like troll you in some way, or I don't know, you just kind of get it, and like you can vibe with people so quickly behind an avatar, behind a fake name. Like it's so interesting.
That's it. You don't even need to. It's like a connection. It is like a vibration of some sort. How people link up on there, because there's like little groups of people that you kind of cross and you see, but you don't really interact with, but you know them and they know you, kind of thing. And you get that on there. It's like
being. Also, like bees, in the hive mentality, like they vibrate. Like the operation and the communication happens strictly through vibes.
Yeah.
Or is it that your higher self is being a human? And having an experience.
This is a playground. I do think we're meant to be here and play.
Because it is like they say it is like an experience, don't they? You know, and that's what everyone calls it, like the human experience.
Yeah. Guys, my cat's joining the show. Lulu,
hey,
say hi.
Which one's this? Who's this?
This is my baby Lulu.
Oh, hi, Lulu.
She likes to stop by sometimes on the show.
She looks very, very elegant and intense.
She's very intense.
Yes.
And I hope
she's a watcher, a seer.
She is a watcher. I had Kara on the show. What are you doing?
Oh, I love Kara.
And she told me that I love her too.
Yeah, I'm seeing her next week.
She told me that Lulu was my protector. She was my spirit guide. I was like, I believe.
I get that vibe. She was like, what's going on here?
Exactly.
Okay, I'm gonna check things out. Everything.
I was watching more of. I've watched loads of her really, but that Dolores Cannon, and I was watching her about these spirit guides and all that, and it's makes sense. Makes more sense than not, doesn't it?
I've got one. My bulldog. He's a spirit guide. He.
You just know. You know.
You know, sometimes I wonder, like, are you coming or going? He seems like if there is reincarnation and you do evolve, and humanity is the peak, and then you devolve from that, you evolve into that, and then devolve from it. Like, if that's a thing, I don't know. But if that is, I kind of look at my dog and I go, you are so close to personhood, but are you on your, are you coming out of being a person, or are you about to be a person? You know, sometimes I wonder that. Like, if this is the case, because I was like, you're close. Next time,
it's mad how you can look into like an animal's eyes and see emotion, can't you? You can see.
Yeah.
There's more. It's more than just it's just an animal or whatever. You can see.
You can see it. You can feel it. You just fucking know.
And they understand. They are communicative with you, whether you realize it or not, because they are reading and understanding your energy. So they know so much more about us than I think we realize too. You know, our dogs get it. Our dogs know when we're sick. Our dogs know when we're emotionally down. Our dogs know when there's danger afoot. Yeah.
That's so true. Rambo, do you have any pets?
Yeah, I've got 3 dogs.
Jeez.
And I say dogs, but I mean animals. Yeah, our animals are protective.
I love it.
Yeah, I've always had dogs. And that's it. You just look into their eyes, and you know there's one here now snoring behind me. But Yeah, you just know that they know what you want. I kind of sometimes feel like I could tell it what to do, like with my eyes without actually saying anything. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes I'm looking at that China.
Controversial opinion. Controversial opinion.
I love those.
Controversial take. I have also had dogs my whole life, animals my whole life, and I think this might be, for at least this portion, this stretch. Like I probably got a few more years with my dogs because they're both like 10. So I probably got, if I'm lucky, I've got like 4 or 5 more years of health, you know. And you know, one's an English bulldog. You probably won't live. If I'm lucky, I'll have that much time with him. But anyway, after that, I think that might be my last round of dog ownership or ownership of petship for a while. Maybe again when I'm older, when I'm in my golden years or something. But I would really like to I don't know. I have this like imagine this version of myself that has the ability to travel freely, which is something that I absolutely cannot do with 2 dogs and one with a severe behavioral problem. You know, I just can't. I just can't have neighbors watch after them or leave them in any way in the care of. I don't know.
Yeah, you couldn't really put. I couldn't put them in their kennels.
No,
really.
Makes it very difficult to travel, and you know, I live alone, and so I don't have someone who I would feel comfortable like looking after them.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Guys, so I've been practicing like intentional like creation in my day-to-day life. So like I'll script like the small details. So like if you're parking somewhere or you're going somewhere, like just scripting how it's gonna go. So I've been really just focusing on like just not having anything to do with mask at all, not bringing one with me, just, you know, really embodying that I don't need that shit. So I was out yesterday with some bros and we were like just playing pool and drinking and shit. And I saw a mask that said masks are optional. I was like, holy shit, like I'm creating this timeline right now.
Yes.
I was like, fuck, this is so cool.
Revelations.
Yeah.
Masks are optional. I've not seen any of that here yet. It's just all. But I wrote something about it on Twitter, just like how I see it. Like, and really, I do just go in. If I see the sign, like, no mask, no entry, it's everywhere. It's like threatening how it's wrote in some places.
They get so aggressive too.
Yeah, here though, now, it's like I've not been asked to put my mask on for a long time. Like, no, not even the security guards in the shop ask anymore and stuff. It's like it's
like, fuck it,
blown over, and it's just part of the going through the motions with it now. Do you know?
Rambo, what would you say the percentage though of people still voluntarily mask?
Ooh,
because I still see a lot of volunteers.
Yeah, I'd say 90%.
Wow.
Like, in the supermarket.
Yeah.
I'm the only one, really.
Me too. And my whole state is open. Everything's open. Nobody says masks anymore. All the signs are down. Everything's down, but people still mask.
Yep.
And they're vaccinated too. I mean, what?
See,
I don't even understand what any of this means. I don't understand why people. Like, tell me what you think is happening to you, and what's happening right now, and what are you protecting yourself from, and what are you worried about, and what are you doing? Explain it to me. Like, I don't get it.
I kind of feel where they're going with it is to carry it on until they get over 50% vaccinated, and then when it comes to like September times, when it's flu times again,
it'll go. We're gonna go right back in.
They're gonna another lockdown, and they're gonna say this wouldn't have happened if it weren't for these people who weren't getting vaccinated. It's the ones who aren't wearing masks and aren't vaccinated as the reason we're going in this other lockdown again.
It's just the flu.
They're bringing in these different variants. Like here, all I'm hearing about is Delta variant. Like, who's like saying to themselves, "Oh, I didn't have the Kent virus. I had the Delta variant." It's just,
what does that even mean?
Right.
You know?
Just throwing shit out there at this point.
Yeah,
like,
just giving stuff.
Well,
I really feel though like they're.
Oh my gosh.
They're telling them to get
Delta,
back to normal.
Do you guys want to know what Delta means?
What is
Delta means a tent door, like a circus tent, like the door on a tent.
The fuck?
And it also means a triangular island, so triangle. So Delta, like the fact that this just means the fact that it means tent door just goes to the larger proverbial concept that all of this is like theater, like a circus theater.
They're just out. It's right there in your face.
What it is. But I can just feel that they're gonna twist it at some point onto, so the people when against the people who don't, then it's anti-vaxxer and vaxxer, innit? There's no thing about choice here, though. That's the thing. Like, the same, it goes back to everything being consent, innit? So they're saying, yeah, you don't have to have the vaccine, but you can't go anywhere and you can't even have a job. You know?
Like, I feel like those who took it, you know, I've realized everyone has their different reasons, you know, fear for, you know, want to keep their little baby safe, or, you know, whatever the case may be. So everyone's, you know, reason for taking it is different. I feel that some critical thinking needs to happen, though, when they're telling you that it doesn't stop you from getting it, it just lowers your chances. I personally, you know, would think that my immune system would do that and I wouldn't have to take the vaccine. But that's what critical thinking.
What would get me now, if I wasn't thinking I'd be thinking like, so I can have all the vaccines, yeah, and I can still get it the same as someone who hasn't had the vaccine. That just, for me,
so what's the point? Why am I getting it?
Right. Yeah. Right. That's exactly it. It's illogical. It's the illogic nature of this. That's how a lot of these psyops work.
Mm-hmm.
They actually don't make sense. They actually don't make logical sense, and there's some sort of bifurcation of the mind. You know, it doesn't make sense that we are amidst a deadly global pandemic.
Yeah.
And that you can be protected by this flimsy piece of trash on your face.
Right.
You know, I like to say, if pants don't protect your butt from a fart, you know, this mask is not protecting, like, it's not doing anything. Like, it's the microparticles. It's just, it's farcical to believe that you can protect yourself, that A, there is a deadly global pandemic. There's not, it's just the flu. And that B, you can protect yourself with this piece of trash on your face. Like, these nobody's wearing it properly. It's usually dirty, so usually on the floor of someone's car or in your pocket, like it folded up, crumpled on, you know, it's never on right. These things are not, there's no way that if we really had something going on, that we would even be protected by these. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Goes back to like the nuclear fallout stuff. Yeah.
They're all over the floor and everything. Like, that's another thing. That's another thing they're going to bring in the wildlife, aren't they, soon?
The litter. They're going to, the little squirrels are going to be trapped in.
Like, with all this going on, I used to try and not believe in a new world order, but try and see the positive. But you can't deny that there is some sort of new order coming in, you know, with a new way of life is coming in. And if you notice, I've seen someone talk about this, they used the phrase here, build back better. We're going to build back better. That means something's got to have been knocked down.
Right.
Yeah, something has to be built back.
Yeah.
You know, and they've also told us lately, time's up. They use that phrase. Big time. The Great Reset. We keep hearing that.
Yeah, I keep hearing that. Yeah.
There's just so much of this vernacular around end point. You know.
There isn't. They say, I think that it's going to play out as people believe, because enough people are believing it for starters. But like this 10-year plan or whatever, it does feel like it's hard to deny it. Like, do you know what I mean? With everything going on, and it goes back to, it's fake to me and it's real to other people. And it's because enough people are believing it, and that's all it takes. And it's the shame in it as well with the masks and the vaccine stuff. It's that shame of you're a murderer. You don't care about people. Do you know, that's how they kind of make it out, don't they? Do you know?
I have to believe maybe all of this rhetoric about a reset in time, maybe it's not because they are destructing it, but because our waking up is what is causing the inevitable destruction. And
maybe they knew, because this 2020, the change was always like the new world order was always, people was saying 2020, wasn't they? Maybe they knew that around that time it was coming, like a mass awakening was coming.
You know, 2020 means clear vision. We've been taught that since birth. 2020 means clear sight, clear vision.
It all happened, like all of this happened to wake those up. Like, think about it.
Yeah.
The fuckery of how how stupid they are, like in the media with how they say shit. And to us, we're like, how are they getting away with this? It's theater. It's a play. They're playing a role for it to be so head ass that people have to question it. Because it's some things you just watch like, how can you say this on TV right now? But that's the point, to wake you up.
Exactly. Yeah. Someone's waking us up, aren't they? Definitely.
The absurdity. It's so absurd.
See?
Yeah. Theater. And that's like theater of the absurd. There's even a word for it. It's the theater of the absurd. It actually, through the direct hijinks, essentially, you know, it's comical. It's comical, some of these things that were shown as real life.
It's if you believe it. And you have that. I seen someone tweet something similar to this the other day. It's like, you are what you eat, but you're also what you watch. Do you know what I mean? You are what you watch as well. Do you know what I mean? If you watch enough crappy TV, you live a soap opera life. Do you know, if you watch enough soap operas, your life's a soap opera, isn't it, really?
I have a theory about that. So if you watch reality TV all the time, or just like drama, does that manifest into like you being I guess attracted to drama in your day-to-day life?
Definitely.
I think so. I used to watch those Bravo the Real Housewives of this place and the Real Housewives of that place. Oh, I love those shows, and I would have them on in the background, you know. I haven't owned a TV in a long time, but there was a period of time in my life when I did, and I would have it always on. That kind of catty dialogue that was quote unquote real, not real at all, highly scripted. And all the narratives were about these manipulations, backstabbings, catty behaviors, catty thoughts, garbage thoughts, like bad ways of seeing life, bad ways of seeing the world, bad ways of seeing what's important, all digested and distilled into this package that we saw as like entertainment TV, or I saw as entertainment TV. And I didn't really, but now looking back on it, I'm like, man, that is just poison. It's just toxic. It's not, at best, it's just garbage. You know, at best, it's just nonsense. Don't waste your time with that. Yeah. At worst, it's deeply destructive programming.
Yep. I remember a time, and this is maybe remember, sometimes I would keep the TV on as a child during night. So now I'm thinking, damn, all that programming going into me. I'm like, fuck. They could have told me anything.
Soothing. Yeah, we thought it was soothing, but it felt soothing. I remember I do that. I used to do that. Keep it on. Yeah. I
realized for them to escape their karma, they manipulate us through the programming to give our consent to it for us to adopt the programming. Yes. And it's done so smartly.
Yeah. Consent is the game. Name of the game is consent in this realm. We consent to so much. You know, a lot of trauma that happens on like a direct level like familial stuff. You know, if you're dealt bad cards with an abusive or problematic family in some way, there's likelihoods that you know that's a rough start. Mm-hmm. But later in life, it's so much more about how we react to everything, and I think we're fed really bad. Like Rambo said, reflect the project. Like they're working on us this whole time. We reflect back what they have shown us this whole time.
Definitely. Yeah. And some of what brought that kind of little saying to me is like the Jersey Shore and stuff. Like growing up, people.
I watched Jersey Shore.
Yeah, people around me. I seen people acting like that, you know, just based on what they've seen, and they probably don't go in and out of relationships, or it's just like that's reflect the project. You know what I mean? That's what
really
that show, and people think that that's reality TV, and really it's just studio scripted stuff. You know, made for that reason to influence.
Like millions of dollars. He was like DJing, like those Pauly D or whatever. What was his name?
Anyway, yeah, Pauly D, wasn't it? Yeah.
He became like a global DJ. It's like, yeah, right. And Snooki, all those stars they were such characters too. Oh my god.
Right.
What's crazy is all they all come into this program over here called Big Brother. You know, they've all been it. They've all them Jersey Shore lot have been in.
Really?
in the UK Big Brother as well,
like
with the eyeball.
times, they'll like show up different ones at different times, or have they been like all together at any time?
No, just different ones, different times, and like the situation. Do you remember him?
Of course, he was so wild. Oh my god, he used to wear those sunglasses. Oh, the situation. What a desperate. Loser.
On top of all that, like it was like they had all sorts of influences, didn't they? Like,
oh yeah,
steroids, everything. Lads wanted to be.
They couldn't even work one day in a t-shirt shop, and so like that was the whole storyline. They couldn't even do it. They couldn't even last like 1 hour. They were helpless, and somehow they also became these beacons of influence.
It's those programs that I think make the biggest impact on young people. That's what I think. Those like the Kardashians, them kind of reality TV shows, they have the biggest influence. Like now, when you look around, there's like 18-year-old girls around here that have had getting Botox and stuff at 18. And not even fully grown up yet.
I know.
And then especially with Instagram and just like the selfies and the everything, you're just like you think that's how you're supposed to look, and if you don't look like that, you get insecure.
The more unnatural has become like a picture of I don't know. It's like we see so much fakery all day long that now we crave that somehow. We believe.
Does that make a real person fake?
Yeah.
Does that make a real person fake? Yeah.
If they're living their life that much based on the projection, does that just make them part of the simulation?
We all kind of do that.
It's free will, though.
Yeah, and that
So
until you have a really base awareness of how fake everything is around you, every act is kind of fakery. Even important ones like voting. Now I see voting as a theatrical. A display of
submitting
our
your ticket,
consent, and our ticket to the show, to the big show, to the politics as theater, the puppet show.
That's
really
so
tickets to the
fucked
puppet
up.
show. It is fucked up. It is, but
so
I never saw that before, and so I never could see the voting process in this way until now. And so in a way, like my whole existence before I woke up was some sort of projection, a real unreality. I was really voting. I was really concerned about these things, but they were.
That's the biggest stumbling block, though, I think, politics. And a lot of people feel like they're intelligent, so they believe. Joe, I feel like intelligence gets people with the politics. Like, of course, it's real. These people who have funded their college and universities, they would never think and handed them the jobs and the salaries based on the political parties they think they believe in. Do you know what I mean?
No.
And when I was growing up, I used to ask my dad and stuff about politics and stuff, and he say, "Oh, you're too young for that. It's nothing. It's not really important to you and stuff now." But if my kids now, I'd have to feel like I'd have to try and guide them to it at this age.
How would you, Rambo, guide? Because you wouldn't like. How do you explain the politics, the theater of politics to a kiddo? With
I'd have to kind of just watch how they contradict themselves and maybe do a couple of recordings of them and ask, how can he be making that many mistakes if they're running the country? And that's the only way I can think of. But I couldn't sit back and watch my lad say at 18, like, "Oh, I hate Trump," or "I hate Boris Johnson," because I don't get why you hate these. That's what I don't get. Like, I hear people say, "Oh, I hate him. He's stupid." Do you think that guy makes the decisions? Like, I think that's stupid. Like, anyone could think there's just one guy there and a team of others.
I saw a video of Biden saying that he'll get in trouble if you don't read this a certain way.
He's saying that all the time. It's so weird. Yeah.
He's literally he's telling you guys, though.
That's the revelation of the truth. We are in the time of revelations. This is a biblical experience. I'm not a biblical person, but I think we're having a biblical experience right now.
100%.
All these revelations 100%. Of the method, revelations of truth, right and left. Biden Biden literally telling us that he is not in control of what he
He's
says,
not.
and has to get permission literally for everything that he says, and even the things that he does say are not his own thoughts. So
Nope.
not only does he not think his own thoughts, he can't even. I can't even it's just like
And
layers and layers and layers
those
of revelation.
questions at the press conference, he knows exactly who he's picking. This is already scripted, already has the answers for it. It's all scripted. It's all scripted.
I mean, I believe it's always been.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
This shit is pure fucking circus comedy.
It's falling apart.
It's
always
falling apart.
It's always been scripted and stuff, but it was never like so obviously scripted, was it? Until the Q thing come up. For me, that is when you really knew that it is a full-on.
That said, there are still many people still into Q. I mean, it is still a thing. It's not something that we now collectively see as silly. I mean, us in this world that everything is fake world, it's pretty clear what we observe it as. We observe it as a phenomena, but not in a true and authentic way, but like more manipulation, but still an incredible phenomena. The Q.
Is it done to break up the belief in politics anyway? Is it purposely done? Like I remember you saying to me in the past, maybe like we're not to have a government, is it the fall of government? Like
maybe for some, it's so weird because some got more into it. Just think of the people that are in Q. They are more into government and politics than they've ever been. They're more believing in a big, bad, deep state. They're more believing in an all-powerful savior that will come through from the side of the government, from this system, this governmental system. Whereas I find myself on the complete other shore, looking over, going, man, we don't need any of that. Like we probably, through what could appear like chaos of like non-governance, non-central federal governance, we could actually probably find a really beautiful resting place of like a humanity-based self-governance without like a quote-unquote government. I don't know. I don't even know if we really have a government in the way that they say we do, or if it's just this basically arm operated through what is now like corporations. Like the government can't control masks, but Walmart can tell. Like the government doesn't do anything. They just get their big bad corporations to make rules. And
100%.
That's why you say like all them companies are government companies, aren't they?
So.
All the big companies are really government companies, like Apple, the Amazon, the
and they just give
Google.
them a story, like the Walmart family, Walton, whatever their name is.
All the supermarkets, big supermarkets.
Warren Buffett, no way. I mean, like our Elon Musk's, our Walt Disney's, our Jeff Bezos's, our Bill Gates's, all of our favorite, our cast of characters in this puppet show, our favorites.
Jeff Bezos going to the edge of space. What do you reckon of that?
Okay, so I did a mini thing, and the blue origin is his logo. It's the blue feather, and I looked up the actual logo itself. I took the logo file, the actual working file for the logo, looked at the color blue, and the color is like the hex value, which is like the computer-based color. It's 0033DD. So they purposely chose this shade of like deepest blue, like violet almost, and it's like got 33 in it. The whole thing's so silly. I don't think they're going to space. I don't think they're doing
they're definitely not.
I think they're thinking about taking him out, and they're going to say, oh, he's crashed or something.
And they're going to burst it. We're overdue for some sort of
Wait, is he going?
Spectacle.
Yeah, he's going.
And like his brother, and then like a random citizen. This is gonna be.
This sounds like some type of
extraordinaire, and I think it's gonna be maybe Project Bluebeam in action with holograms or something.
Yeah.
Project Blue Origin, Blue.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's what I just thought. Then it's a good shout. That
one thing I've learned though, so like for example, if this manifests, they always do some like fear harvesting ritual that just gets our fear. We fall for it every time. It's always that tragic
It feels
death.
like we're kind of overdue for one of those.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, COVID was a long, drawn out one, like a slow drip of this trauma over a
Mm-hmm.
long period of time, and like the slowly tightening of the screw over time, which started with like 2 weeks to stop the curve or whatever. They just,
Yep.
whatever. Like, yeah, right. Like, oh my God, 2 weeks turned into a year
Flatten
and
the
a
curve.
half.
Why did
5
he call
years.
it flatten the curve?
Right.
It's a
What?
weird one, that.
That, and I even thought that maybe that had something to do with like flat Earth, like a nod to the flat earth. I don't know, just something silly. I
It
don't
just
know. Just weird verbiage all around. And the 6 feet, 2 meters and 6 feet,
makes no freaking sense.
that is a note to like 6 feet under with death. It was just a reminder of constant death. Six
Then
feet.
the
6 feet.
rule of six, he had
Mm-hmm.
the
Rule of
six
six.
people from six households and all that. 666 is everywhere.
Oh
Oh
shit! I didn't
my
even peep that.
God.
That's crazy.
They think they're so
That's
clever.
that's crazy. I feel like
How's
the
the
go no go
what?
ahead.
I was gonna say, Richard, how's everything? How's the masking or how is the intensity where you've been? Is everything open at the moment? Everything is it gonna go
Yeah.
back to normal?
Yeah, everything's open, everything's back to normal. I've just been walking in with no mask
Yeah,
and I've been seeing a lot of people doing the same thing.
starting to.
So I'm like, fuck, okay, this is like, because it's I think people just really realizing it's just pointless. These things are pointless.
And once someone tells you it's okay to not do it, like once an authority figure, quote unquote,
Right.
our little authority figures, once they say it's okay to, we don't have to wear a mask anymore, like we ever really did, like now is safe. Wasn't safe then, but now it's
Mhm.
safe. Like if you were believing in that it wasn't safe then, and you were listening to the authority figures, and then the authority figures tell you it's safe now, you're gonna listen. And so I feel like that's what that state by some states are still like, I think some states and territories are still very, they're going back into lockdowns, some places
Oh, fuck
internationally,
that.
like Australia. I think they're entering into another, Auckland is entering into some additional lockdown situation.
But those lockdowns are in the divine sense are meant to wake up the collective because
I hope
it's
so.
it's like a oh, what the fuck, like this is pointless type of feeling.
I hope so.
It's not
A
that
revolt,
people.
a revolt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a. I feel like I see how it can do, but then I also see a lot of people who just go back in their house again if they're told to go back in.
That's true. I feel like
And
people
just
like
to,
that comfort.
like, I was speaking to someone the other day who's a family member, and he said to me, "Have you had your vaccine yet?" And I said, "No." And he went, "Aren't you silly?" It's an older member of my family, like, "Aren't you silly doing that?" And I was like, no, because
No.
it's on my choice.
Please.
As I say, it's my choice. And she's like, but you're putting other people then at risk. But then you're not
That's
at
not even
risk.
how it works. Not even how
Yeah,
it works.
you're
It's
not at
not
risk because you've had it. You're not
right.
at risk.
Exactly.
But
Not
that
even how
should
it works.
be the thought behind of getting it. If I'm getting this thing, it's I'm immune to it completely.
And
So
the
then
only people at risk, if vaccines truly work, which I don't believe,
hell
I believe
no.
our immune system does a thing
Yes.
very well when it's
Yes.
healthy and robust. It
Yes.
does that thing poorly when we're not, when we're stressed, when we're highly anxious, when we're eating garbage food, when we're not getting sleep, when we're living locked down, not getting vitamin D. It's a whole host of things. In certain times of the year, cyclical, we get, so our bodies exit, our bodies emit, our bodies get rid of all this toxicity, like they go through a purge, and that's like exhibited as a cold and flu season. And if we're highly toxic, we're gonna have a bad flu. We've got a lot to expel. Our body's gonna have this really hot process, natural immunity process called the flu. You're gonna go under. If you lived a healthy whatever, you probably won't get sick at all. Your body doesn't need to do that. You're not gonna, but it happens usually during cold and flu season. And then we give it a name, and we call it a contagion, and we call it a thing, but it's really just a natural process, and a natural seasonal cyclical we are cyclical beings and cyclical bodily entities, and I don't know, call it the flu. And like a chimney flu is how a fiery system gets rid of its toxicity.
Mm-hmm.
And we are, heat systems. We are burning at a certain 98.6 degree Fahrenheit. That's what they say, And we're constantly we're burning. We're burning energy. We're burning our fuel. And we have a chimney flue every to get rid of the toxins every so often. Yeah.
That's so crazy.
I kicked that idea around with Rambo one time. I was going on and on about the flu. I was like, please make this work. Please make this analogy work. it's a,
That's a
it's
good
a flu.
analogy. It is.
See, I seen someone comment on my thing once. You can't say the flu. The flu doesn't exist either. It's like, well, I just mean the cough and the cold, then whatever you want to call it, you know.
And I think that that's exactly it, because we still, even when we talk about the flu, I think we are still thinking it's not deadly, but we're still thinking it's a contagious thing. But what it is it's an individual thing that happens at certain times of the year. Just like flowers bloom at certain times of the year, and all the trees suddenly their leaves fall off at other times of the year. I think there are certain processes that human beings go through that share a temperate climate, or certain types of climates. The seasonal systems happen to like across a vast system, and we all get the flu around the same time, because I think that it's kind of like a cyclical thing.
What I think's crazy for me in my life is, since I started looking into like the subconscious and believing I've not been ill ever since. Nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like when you believe you can't get ill.
Thoughts are toxic too.
Yes, they are. Especially how you talk about yourself.
Thoughts can become cancerous.
100%.
I think we don't understand to this day. There's a reason we're still doing chemotherapy, which is deadly. Yep. There's a reason we're still doing chemotherapy that's in a super old, highly deadly, highly lethal treatment. We're still doing that because we're really not trying to find out what cancer is. Like, we're not really, because I believe cancer is not this. I don't believe it's what they tell us. Yep. I think it has so much more to do with how the toxicity of our head, our heart, and our gut systems, like all the inputs, the energetic inputs, the food inputs, the thoughts we eat, the thoughts we think.
The thoughts we eat.
Yeah, your food for thought. Literally, they say that. They tell us that.
Food for the mind, isn't it? That's what it is.
Food for the mind. There's something to that, and I think that people that go through, I think that cancers can come from a highly traumatic energetic body and highly traumatic energetic mind.
100%.
Yeah, so if you're watching do you reckon, like, if you're watching enough TV adverts, you see it around everywhere, 1 in 2 people, do you reckon the fear can bring it on?
100%.
Yeah.
I think so.
100%.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Fear just lowers your vibration, and then your body's going to get ill at that point.
Stress and
with
fear.
Anything, like when I used to like pretend to be mum or a day off school, and I'd pretend to be sick, and
then your body reacted to it.
Yeah, put talc on my face and stuff, and go that, and I'd be sick. That day I'd be spending the day in bed. It's like I'd work myself up to be ill.
Your body responded.
We are all just mental expressions. Even pain, even the whole idea of pain it really is all in our mind.
Yep.
It's all.
I seen you say that to somebody, and it really is. I'm not saying I don't feel pain,
real.
But I do believe you can.
Pain is felt and truly expressed in the body and 100%. Registered in the body.
100%.
But if our skin was just made out of a different material, like, we wouldn't feel it. We would still be receiving the same blows. We would still be receiving the same injury or whatever. Or if our systems were just different. But it's a process of the way that the material and the material of all of our systems from the outside, and it communicates back to our brain. It's all just leading back to our brain, and then our brains tells us to respond. But like, you can lose that. There are people that actually their brain doesn't work in a certain way and they can't feel pain at all.
True.
Which shows that it is a mind thing. They can stick their hand on the hot stove, but they won't feel it. Doesn't mean their hand's not burning. They will get extraordinary injuries because they can't feel it. And a lot of these people die very young. If this is a real thing, they say it's real. But yeah, these people usually die very young because they injured themselves so deeply, so badly, because they can't feel anything and get these injuries and infections.
Damn.
So it's on the mind. It's crazy.
That's wild. I know. I've seen with some artists, they'll say that they won't live to be a certain age, but you're literally manifesting that shit. Your body.
You're making it. It's so true that you do make stuff happen. And I follow somebody on Twitter, and he done like this challenge. Like, I can't think of it. It's called Nicole, I think. And she's done this challenge and wrote like, look for a color in the morning. And I just thought of this random, like a pink with like glitter. And honestly, I seen a car that was pink with a glitter on it. That was in my mind. So I've done it again the next day. I've just been following color, like thinking of like this random weird, like a weird green. And I'll see a car that's a weird green color. Like, I don't know whether
we all need to do this. Like literally everyone listening.
Try it. It's really good. It's think of a number and wake up with and set these things that you're going to see today. And it's been working for me. I've just been like having a play around with it. Like, I couldn't believe it. That this pink that I thought of, I can only picture
glittery pink,
a glittery pink, and I've seen a glittery pink car like right in front of me. I was like, wow,
that's crazy.
The universe delivered.
Yeah,
this Matrix delivers, y'all.
It definitely
100% with your command.
It might not deliver the very next, like right that minute, but whatever, if you believe it enough, it does eventually.
Yeah. If you
your wish is your command.
Yeah, exactly. And I like to say, I like that it delivered you exactly what you had given, what you imagined in your mind. It gave you that, that glitter, and it expressed exactly what you so vividly.
It blew my mind because I don't know why I thought of this pink with a glitter, and I don't know why that come to my mind.
That's
but it
wild,
did.
Yeah. That's
and then there it is. It's not there, and it was the same day though. I woke up in the morning and I thought I'm going to think of the color and see how it goes. I just feel like little things like that show that you can.
This shit actually works.
Yeah, it blew me head. Yeah, it was that pink and the glitter. I couldn't believe it.
It's the little things. That's why I like scripting, like the small details in my life, because when it manifests, I'm like, shit, okay, what next?
Cool. What else have you done, Richard? What other like scripting, like small little scripts have you done?
So, for example, I have like a like a journal that I'll write. So I work in sales, so I'll say, I'll close like seven clients today, Kara actually put me onto this as well. Anytime that something good happens to yourself, acknowledge it. Say heart map moment, and then like tap yourself 3 times in your heart and say I want more. And so get into the habit of doing that. So I was doing that all this week, and then I was like, fuck, okay, wow, more, because now you're acknowledging all the great things, and it's like a fun little game for yourself. It's like a cool little, like a little game you play with yourself.
And you're acknowledging flow.
You're acknowledging flow.
This is flowing in and flowing out.
Exactly.
And I invite this flow, and I'm reciprocating to this flow. And shout out to Kara. Let's be friends.
Kara.
We've all been. I was on there. Rambo was on there.
Kara is awesome.
You guys chatted, and I think that's so cool. I love that. And I'm seeing her next weekend on Saturday the 26th. I'm having a little local Vibe Tribe gathering.
That's love.
A couple people from people in my area, Dallas. I'm like DFW, the Metroplex, kind of all the cities around.
Cool.
See how many people come out. It's gonna be at a public park. Just like bring some blankets. I think Kara's gonna bring like a little keyboard, and we're just gonna like chat and kind of
some weed and mushrooms.
Yeah.
Well, it's in a public park, so I can't condone anything. But anybody that wants to be responsible and live life in a loving and fun-free way without my knowledge, who's to say?
It was through doing the podcast with Cara that made me want to do.
She
have a go with the mushrooms. To be honest,
she's definitely going to bring some mushrooms, and it might be my first one. Might be my first mushroom experience. However, I'm not going to do mushrooms at the thing.
I've
never done mushrooms before.
No.
I don't think that I would trip in front of people driving out to come see me. That would be a really strange thing. But I do believe I'm going to try mushrooms that week. So we'll see.
It's such a beautiful experience. I channeled the name of my book. I did some inner child healing. I realized I experienced no time. So my first room experience, I was in college. I was tripping with some homies. We was in the woods, and there was like no sense of time. And by the end of the trip, I had a thought: this is why we come here, because this is boring. You just sit and then and nothing. It's just timeless, and you get bored. I got bored by the end of the trip, and that's the thought that the creator feels like. I want to experience myself
in infinite batches,
finite batches.
Finite infinites.
I'm looking forward to when I have a go soon, sometime this week, hopefully. And
I can't wait
go
to
for it.
experience that.
It's so awesome.
It was my brother he's not really into like, oh, everything's fake or anything. He likes to argue the panda with me and that sometimes. But he's had DMT, and he said it's the best thing. He's not into any, and he said it's the best feeling I've ever had. He said I can't describe the feeling to you that
you're in your creator state. You're in your God mode. Think of like the Avatar, the cartoon, and when he goes into the Avatar mode, that's essentially what you're doing with yourself. It's
looking forward to that experience.
It's so dope, bro. I'm excited for you, man. I'm excited for you.
In the past, I got some mushrooms whilst in Amsterdam, but I backed out at the last minute. I wasn't ready for them. I feel like now I am. I'm ready to eat 5 grams in one go.
Oh boy, that sounds like a lot. Don't do that, Rambo.
Let's go easy, man.
Yeah, maybe start with one. You want to stay here on Earth, maybe, or you definitely won't stay here on Earth.
Staying in that universe.
In the heat dome. Yeah, you gotta stay in the heat dome.
Guys, I got kicked out of a psychedelic trip before.
What do you mean?
I was tripping on acid downtown one time, and I was starting to. So you grasp the concept that you're the creator, and like everything comes full circle, and then you kind of want to experience that feeling again and just play around. So the third time I did that, I didn't even last 10 minutes in the trip. I sobered quickly, and the voice in my head said, "You know who you are. Stop.
Stop tripping.
Yeah, stop. You know who you are. What the fuck? Basically, that I keep coming back toward the same thing, and I know this. And I was like, damn. And it just booted me out the trip, and I was completely normal. I was like, whoa, okay, I guess we're doing this.
End game.
Nada.
End game. Yeah, like, that's so interesting. Whoa. So that kind of means, and was that a DMT trip, or was that a shroom trip?
It was the LSD.
LSD. So that's interesting that chemical could connect you to a realm that is operated.
Mm-hmm. I saw my alien face when I was on LSD as well.
Really? What did it look like?
It's like it's like black, and there's like a bunch of little light dots all around my face. I was like, whoa.
Oh, we are humans, which are light. Hue is light.
I gave birth on the floor as well.
You gave birth? Did you give birth to yourself, or did
I gave birth to universes? I was on the floor, and I just gave birth to universes. I was like, what the fuck? It was intense.
What did it come out of your butt?
It was like shoo, 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 shoo. I was like, is this how it feels to give birth?
Is that Uranus?
Right. Like, what the fuck? Shit is getting weird. But it's such like I'm just grateful for like just psychedelics in general. Like this even if it's just mushrooms, just it's there to have us tap into a realm that's higher than what we can perceive in our normal state.
And you have your kind of fear taking them, don't they? Really, they're illegal, and then they make them sound like.
But that's the propaganda about it, though.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's what I now realize. But at the time, I used to think like, no, it'll mess me up or something. But
right.
I am kind of scared to do an acid-based material at this
Just
point.
do
I
mushrooms.
definitely want to start with mushrooms.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do mushrooms.
I'm kind of, other than smoking pot here, I don't really do any other drugs. So I need to like be careful.
Just stick to the
women's multivitamin. Crazy. Yeah. Which I actually think vitamins could be a psyop in some way, but
definitely a placebo.
Yeah, they're all made in a lab. if you can watch how they make
and you
like
kind of pee them all out. Like your body doesn't really
do.
absorb the multis. You have
like
to
the
get
cod liver oil tablets. Like everyone's mad on them. Like
I know.
and they're not coming out of livers of cods, are they? Really?
Yeah, what is it? That's such a silly name.
It's just you can. There's a video on them on YouTube on how they're made, and they're basically just made in a factory. They're made in they're made just chemical. It's just chemicals. There's no fishes harmed in the making of a cod liver oil tablet.
Like con liver oil.
Yeah, it's just basically I've watched this YouTube video just on how vitamins are made. I remember coming across something on
vitamins.
Yeah, and they're all basically just made. There's nothing in them.
Totally.
It's
a placebo.
Like concentrate of what there's no actual ingredients.
It's like 1,000% of this, 3,000% of that, and it's like
so much.
Do that.
Joey pushes them
Why
a lot.
Would you even do that?
Joe Rogan pushes vitamins and stuff.
A lot of podcasts I noticed are getting really big into nutritional supplements as like athletic greens. I don't know if you've heard that, but like it's like all about, I don't know, all the sponsors.
Yeah, I've had them all. I used to have all this kind of stuff and like broccoli's in a tablet and stuff like that. You know, like get all your broccoli. Yeah, like all your vegetables in a tablet and stuff like that. I've had stuff like that in the past, and I even took ones that I'd heard on the Joe Rogan show. Joe recommended and stuff, and then I kind of woke up and I started searching where did they even come from, what are they, and it turns out they're just all made in a factory.
It's so funny. The fact that Joe Rogan was talking about them was just enough inclination for you to be like, wait a second, I gotta get into this. Let's get to the bottom of this.
Let's give this a try.
Like, did you see the video of Joe Rogan the other day where he was talking about the CNN news anchors and stuff, and he says,
yes,
they're not even real people.
They're not even real humans. He said they're not even real humans.
Yeah. Telling you the
truth. Are they AI projections at that?
That's what I think.
Yeah, I do with an actor for the
base actors with a
public appearances.
Face. Yeah.
Anyone who's seen them's just seen the.
And I saw recently this mashup of kind of like a Fox News anchor starter pack, and it was all the girls and guys, and they all look the same. They're just basically like Mr. Potato Heads with like the same kind of blonde hair, and they kind of switch out the nose, mouth, and whatever. But they're basically all the same. And I was like, y'all, it's not that they have cast 40 different versions of the same person. What they have is probably a few base bodies that they have then projected this slightly different face onto, and then they just like do a wig for each one, whatever. It's
like a template.
Very easy, like a template. Yeah, template. And I kind of think that's whenever I say templates, you know, I'm showing people that look very similar, and the majority of our truther community would say that's probably genetics and cloning, because they obviously look alike. But they all have to probably share a same father or same sort of, you know, mother factory womb or whatever, you know, like are born in a baby tube test babies, all this stuff. There's lots of explanations genetically for this type of physicality. But what if these people aren't real at all? And what we as the public, we only really see them through our screens, and what we see then on screen is this digital projection, this manipulation, this fabrication of identity projected onto a base body. And then in public, on the very rare occasion that you would actually see a celebrity like this in public and interact with them, even these famous people like your Bezoses and your Bill Gateses, I think that those personal appearances are also characters.
Yeah.
Just someone who's wearing a good old-fashioned Hollywood magic with your silicone mask.
I think that definitely happens with like the ones who are on TV regular all the time. But what I've been thinking, like, do you at some level they must sell out? Do you know, like the average, like say a sports person, for instance, like Tyson Fury is an example. That he's from my local area, so I've seen him around younger and stuff. When we was younger, I've seen him around. So he's a real person. But at some point he has signed a dotted line somewhere because he's not the same person. And
Wow.
do you know what I mean? You
That's
can
interesting.
you can tell he's got like an agenda to him. Like he's a pill pusher, and you get to the doctor, get your antidepressants ASAP and all that. The doctor saved my life. So he's working in a way. He's working for Big Pharma, isn't he?
Hell yeah.
That's bad energy.
I remember.
It is bad energy.
You can YouTube. He's on YouTube. This video of Tyson Fury when he won his belt against Klitschko. He done this video like in his hotel room, and he was talking about the Illuminati and the Zionists, and they all run the world, and how they can make anything happen if they just say it on the news and all that. And then the next week he lost his belts and ballooned up in weight. That was his last video he made before his career went downhill. And it is still available on YouTube to watch. And he's like, it's like his uncle filming him. Anyway, his uncle was his trainer. And then when he blown up to his mad weight or whatever, and then he had his all depression story, then he come back and his uncle's no longer his trainer, and he's not allowed to mention each other in interviews and all this stuff. I'm thinking, does the uncle know something? Do you know, does he know that he's sold out and doesn't want anything to do with it? And they were both offered but it's kind of then, since then, they called him like he's a homophobe and everything based on what he said in this video. And now they've just turned it all around for him. I think they've basically said at some point, we can turn this all around for you. All you need to do is, here's your script. This is your script now. You're going to be the champion of the world. Here's your script. Just go along with it and you get the riches and fame. But you also push whatever we...
And you'll probably have to go through some sort of humiliation ritual.
Well, that was his humiliation ritual. He said he was a drug addict on TV. He was an alcoholic.
Oh, shit.
And then he was going to crash his car. He's got this story. He went on Joe Rogan, didn't he? I'm going to crash my car off a bridge and all this stuff. With Ferrari. And to me, I just think when you look at his career now, it's so scripted. That Deontay Wilder fight, that first one, where it was a draw, so scripted. It's WWE.
So I wonder if they like, it's just like like WWE, like you're just in their circus and you go how they want you to go.
Yeah, because I'm all down for, like, I know that I don't know, but I truly believe the higher up ones, the news anchors and stuff, are projected on TV. But then I do think they must sell out to some level, at his level. I've seen him as a teenager, you know, I've seen him around quite a lot. So like, he must have to be pushing what he's pushing and be so against what he made that last video about now, you know, about he never mentioned anything like that ever again. And it kind of got took down from the internet everywhere. And you can still find it, like where people have screen recorded it and put it back on and stuff. It's on for about 20 minutes and he's just going off about how the world's run by corporations and stuff. And now everything's scripted and do you know what else is crazy? He went into WWE. They just crossed him over that easy to fight for a belt in WWE.
That's so wild.
They've done it with Mayweather. Mayweather crossed over into WWE.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like they can mix them all up under that banner of entertainment, can't they? So if you check what like sports is, it's entertainment, and the sportsman isn't only a sportsman, he's a performer. He's there to perform and to entertain. They have to script it, don't they? And he's got a third fight. He had this with Tyson Fury. So the second fight was definitely scripted. I've been trying to make a little compilation video to post on Twitter about the punches connected in that fight and how none of them actually really connected. But now he's got the third fight now, Anti, with Wilder again.
That's so wild.
It's just a
wild.
big game.
But they admit this stuff too. I think it was don't want to say Logan Paul, somebody and
he said it was a simulation. He was like, none of this is real.
Yeah.
Paul said that during the weigh-in.
The aliens are coming in June. You said that. Good. It was like an advertisement. The aliens,
it could have been an advertisement.
The aliens are coming in June.
It was like, because I think the movie Independence Day is coming out like this month or something. Like they're doing a remake of that. I could be wrong, but there is some sort of movie.
This is getting juicy.
With this alien attack thing, do you reckon it's happening? Do you think it's coming? It's been saying it for years, but it kind of feels
it better.
close.
They've been teasing this. It'll be fake, but they better deliver.
Yeah, they have been teasing this. I want to see some time of action, and then I want the real aliens to pop up and be like, look.
Did he even have to show us anything? Can he just say, yeah, there's aliens
it's gonna be
here?
like War of the Worlds.
It's that easy.
All it has to be is like scary feeling enough, scary seeming enough, and we will believe it. We will get sucked in, just like
they've already shown the world scared of something that they can't even see.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I do hope we see the aliens, but I am starting to think they might just tell us and show us a picture of like a blurred dot on the.
Yeah.
You gotta.
They're here. Where?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're here. Okay. Sure.
But,
oh no.
Yeah. But no one's talking about it. That's the.
I've heard
like
a few
about...
like normie people talk about it. One of my friends said he's seen it posted on Facebook the other day, and he said, "I remember you telling me that a year ago."
Yes. Joe Rogan's talking about it again. Neil deGrasse Tyson's going everywhere talking about. Like, I feel like they're
amping it up.
Yeah, the Pentagon release about the new crafts where aircraft, and the word craft is kind of like craft, like magic, witchcraft. Oh my gosh. Or like to make something craft. It's like they've manufactured this whole thing.
All this goes back to Joe Rogan again, though, doesn't it? He hyped all this up, and then he had that
like the big boss in this realm.
Yeah, that Bob Lazar.
We need to.
Remember the Bob Lazar story, the UFO guy from the Area 51, and that really got me on it as well. Like, wow, but it's coming. He had the Netflix series, and he said it was like going to get taken off and all this stuff. Bob Lazar, and he was interviewed by Joe Rogan.
Has Joe Rogan ever entertained anyone in like an everything is fake? He talks a lot of conspiracies.
He does.
Has he ever done something from this view?
Nah. He wants the fear, and
it's always
you can't go on and crush it all, can you?
Yeah.
It's all fake.
I sure would like an invitation onto that show.
100%.
Sure would.
Joe Rogan, if you're listening to this, send an invite, please.
Maniacal laughter. Can take it down from the inside. Yes, sir.
Let's go.
I believe a lot of the interviews he's doing is sat in a room on his own, just talking to a screen.
And they look, and they vision, and the other person's on a green screen, but they insert it in such a way that it just never looks real. It never feels real. His new studio, and they always comment on the studio. It's like purpley pink and red and looks like a vagina. Sorry, pardon my French. Wee wee. Yeah. It looks like it's got a specific look to it, and that look is like unreal. Yeah.
It's pretty weird.
I know, Joe Rogan's he's a weird part of that. He's such a
he's a major part.
Went on or not Prince Harry, but everybody who has something to tell goes on Joe Rogan, and it's usually like a fear-based, like some sort of.
Andy Ngo's been on there. That's when it got me there. Like, how can he go on there? Do you know, he's had people on there that
his character went on there.
Yeah, his character went on there, and then you had the Jack Dorsey on there who wore the same outfit on both occasions.
Right, which is so weird.
That same outfit.
And they're like, oh, that's just a thing that these,
rich people do.
No, sir.
Nah.
That is something that they are doing to show us that these are characters, and they have costumes, and they wear their costumes because they are characters.
Yep. It's all a theater.
It's all for your subconscious, so you recognize that person. I think you recognize these characters.
Purple sweaters.
And going back to the templates, maybe that's why they do templates. It's always to keep your mind familiar with that look in it. Like,
you think it's a new person, but your brain goes, "Oh yeah, that guy. I like that guy."
Yeah.
And sometimes you cognitively see it, like, "Oh, this person looks exactly like that person from the." Way back couple decades ago, but usually we don't see it, and we just like the new guy. We're like, oh, there's something about him that I really like. I just can't put my finger on it, and it's like
it's just that story.
It's the same guy.
Yeah. It's the same guy, different,
slightly different flavor.
Yeah. Did you see this week that song come out with James Corden and Ariana Grande?
That looked everyone looked fake. Everyone looked fake in that. It was such a weird cringe.
Oh wait, when they were
cringe
dancing
fest.
in the street, and
Dancing
shit?
to the vaccine song.
Yeah.
Song. Oh,
And
my
I think
God.
it's mad how he was in like this show over here in England called Gavin and Stacey. And I think he was just picked from day one before he was even in that show. It was all that was to build him up over here. Then he got took over there, and then
make him look like a personality.
Yeah, and then you've got Ariana Grande, who was also in. I didn't know who she was until the Manchester bomb.
This is turning into a cult. This whole thing is turning into a giant
cult. 100%. Ariana Grande is attached forever to loosh harvesting through the attacks on, where was that?
Manchester. It's in my town.
Manchester. That's right, Rambo, in your town. So she is forever linked to trauma.
They give her the key to Manchester or whatever they call it, so she can just go wherever she wants, kind of thing. But
and now she's just the face for vaccine.
What are the chances? Yeah, she was involved with that. Now she's like pushing the vaccine, so she got a lot of fans. And what I always remember about that Manchester bomb with her, right? All the songs are very, very sexual. And if you read on her first song was about sex, and she was like a little kid or something. And they used this song for the Manchester bomb, and it was that it's shown everyone in the crowd with the lighters, and it was like one last time. And so that was one last time, and they used that on repeat. But then if you carry on, if they would have let the words go a little bit past the one last time, so to take you home while your missus is out or something, it's about.
Holy shit.
But they used it as like it was one last time at the concert, and all the if you Google like Ariana Grande Manchester Arena thing, it just shows that song and all these kids holding lighters like one last time. It's like really emotional and stuff. But then if they would have let the lyrics carry on for just another minute,
second longer.
Yeah, we just loop that bit, the one last time.
They frame everything so specifically that we only see a fraction, a very incomplete and really ill represented fraction of the truth, when if we were just able to have a wider scope on everything, these lyrics, everything, if we were able to pull back and have a better vantage, a better framing of
I don't even think they can sing. Like, for instance, I don't think she can sing.
Oh, like auto-tune and stuff? Like
everything's auto-tune. I don't feel like they've ever wrote a song or anything like that. None of these have
come out. That's like even Jennifer Lopez, who has a singing career, apparently. She doesn't sing. She doesn't even sing her own stuff. Like someone else sings all of her songs.
Oh,
it's not even her voice at all.
So these songs, all the songs are programming for these big ones. So they're not writing them songs. They're given just to be the front on the stage, aren't they? Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
And they all have, a lot of them are just catchy tunes with.
Yeah, they're all catchy.
Weird
songs are catchy, but they're just not her voice.
It was lyrics that don't.
Even weirder, They were just like, "You're such a good visual. You're perfect visually, but you can't sing. But don't worry about that. We've got a solution."
Britney Spears is another, isn't she? That's like stuck on MTV, and that's all you see. Like
And she was part of that Mickey Mouse Club. That one that had everybody, even Justin Timberlake.
I forgot about that.
That's Christina Aguilera, Ryan Reynolds,
Miley Cyrus,
Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, Miley Cyrus.
Ryan Gosling. Miley Cyrus was part of the Mickey Mouse Club, but later,
that's crazy.
It's just a factory for all these characters.
That's exactly what it is. It's just a factory producing puppets that I don't believe can even sing. Like,
no.
I've been watching this. I've been trying to see The Rock. So they have The Rock, and it
Dwayne
pops up.
Rock Johnson.
Dwayne.
Yeah, it pops up on my suggestions, and it's The Rock singing the song for some film that he was in, Moana or something like that.
Yeah.
And I don't believe he's singing that, even though it's showing behind the scenes where he's on the mic. I don't believe it's him. I think it's all.
Yeah.
Oh,
for sure.
Shit.
The behind the scenes stuff. Rambo, you say this all the time. They are always acting.
Always
acting.
It's always
on,
acting.
They're acting. Cameras off. They're acting. They're always acting. So these behind the scenes are still part of the projection. It's not reality at all. They just are telling us it's this little.
Another one that popped up. It's like it's trying to tell me that these people don't have the bodies. Will Smith popped up on my YouTube on the little stories, and it was like him way out of shape, and so like he's always ripped in the films, though, isn't he?
Yeah.
And then it's just like a completely different body frame. They're showing you. I feel like they're showing us that these guys have just got the CGI bodies and the bodysuits most of the time, you know.
Yeah.
Especially Will Smith. I'm 100% on him. When you see this video,
I'm 100% on Leonardo DiCaprio. I think that he has just always been a face that has been created, and he's like a masterfully developed face, but he's not a real person. I think he's just a projection.
I believe that too, actually. And he's always on all the memes, isn't he? Like that.
So he's got that like winky thing.
That's your one, that.
Yeah,
We were talking about it.
That's right. Exactly. He's always, and then his movies like Catch Me If You Can, you know, kind of like figure
kind of teasing you,
yeah.
That's so jiggy, guys. I always wrap this show up with this last question. What would your message be to humanity at this time?
One thing I've learned from Rambo, and I think it's a really important lesson, is to we have to have a levity. We're talking about deep stuff, but we can do it in a really lighthearted way, because we're asking big questions of ourselves and of this world around us, and that can get kind of overwhelming and it can get dark. But at the end of the day, I personally feel a lightness that I was never able to achieve when I was stuck in a lot of the mental frameworks that I had been for 30 plus years of my life, and I'm only recently out of them. So this kind of like all these topics that we're talking about, all these things that we're questioning, saying is not real. It's a weird place it's a weird experience to think of, to do these thought exercises if you've never gone there before, but it can be quite freeing and lightness and lightheartedness, levity. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. I feel like it is. It's you got to kind of be fun about it, haven't you? But like you say, it's a really dark. It can be a dark place, but it's just part of the journey before you see the light. So I kind of like feel like my kind of advice nowadays is just to be yourself. You do you, be true to yourself, and
you do you,
don't,
boo-boo.
Boo-boo.
Don't be so drawn in by what others say of your thoughts or think of your thoughts until you see something that changes your perception. Because if you don't see any. Obviously, I'm open to listen to everyone, but if nothing changes my perception, I'm not going to be worried about people thinking I'm crazy or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? I don't care.
Just be unapologetically you.
Yeah, that's it. That's a good way to put it.
Hold boundaries, be kind to yourself, and just keep creating your reality. Human Vibration, Rambo, this episode was fucking dope. Thank you for being on.
Thank you for having us on.
Thank you so much, Richard. Yes, amazing. We love chatting with you.